So now it's time where we are going to do some practicing. So it is my honor and privilege to introduce Lauren Barano. And before I introduce Lauren, I want to share with you a little bit about our virtual professional development. And Lauren's going to go in more detail, but just a little snapshot. Our virtual professional development is an opportunity for you to practice skills. So how you can talk with a parent or even a group of young people within sex ed, and how you can go ahead and navigate these tough conversations. So let me introduce my wonderful, amazing colleague, Lauren Barano. Lauren is a dynamic facilitator with almost 15 years of experience working in sexual health education, developing programs, teaching youth, and supporting schools in selected sex ed programs and training their teachers. She's coached countless parents and professionals on what to say about sexuality, but most importantly, how to say it. Lauren has worked at the local, state, and national levels with organizations like Advocates for Youth, Healthy Teen Network, and the Georgia Campaign for Adolescent Power and Potential. Lauren earned her master's in public health at Emory's Rollins School of Public Health and lives and works in Atlanta, Georgia, with two little ones who challenge her to think creatively about this work every single day. So without further ado, may I introduce the marvelous Lauren Barano. Lauren, welcome.
Thank you, LaCara. I wish I could just take a bit of your energy and through the screen to use it. I live and work in Atlanta, and so it's later in the evening my time, and I just really appreciate your enthusiasm for this work throughout the evening. So welcome, everybody. I am thrilled to partner with LaCara in this section to really showcase our virtual professional development and how it can be utilized as a tool to support a professional's ability to practice having difficult conversations, answering questions, or addressing concerns from families or parents in your community. So we are going to actually model the use of our avatar system through virtual professional development. You'll see the screen share in just a second, and you'll meet our avatar, Ms. Thompson. This whole system was designed to really provide users an opportunity to practice these difficult conversations with adults in our community, or maybe board members or school district administrators, or our peers who are parents in our communities or work with the kids that we are working with, to make sure that we stay safe and the people that, excuse me, we're eventually going to talk with stay safe. So it's totally designed to be a practice space where you can try out some new language and techniques to feel really confident about these conversations moving forward. So LaCara in this simulator is going to play the role of a health teacher in Minnesota. And this health teacher is utilizing the AMAZE videos as a part of her sex ed curriculum. So she's teaching her sex ed unit. She uses AMAZE videos regularly, and she has received an email communication from a parent in her community it's a parent of a student that LaCara teaches. And she's got some concerns about the content of the video that LaCara has been using in her health unit. So our avatar, whose name is Ms. Thompson, is going to be any teacher in a Minnesota community who has some questions about AMAZE. And so you can watch LaCara. I encourage you to pay attention to the way she utilizes some of the key points that Jess alluded to earlier in really effective ways to navigate this conversation, and take notes, because you might have an opportunity to try this out for yourself in just a few minutes. So LaCara, whenever you're feeling ready to start our system, just say start interaction. And whenever you are ready to end the simulation, just say stop interaction.
Thank you, Lauren. All right, everyone. Wish me luck with Mrs. Thompson. All right, start interaction. Hello, Mrs. Thompson. How are you today?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Well, good. I'm so excited to have you and have this conversation. I know I received your email and you said that you had some concerns regarding what's happening in our health class.
Well, yes, I'm quite concerned, because if we want all these kids to be abstinence, then why aren't the AMAZE videos focusing just on abstinence? It does not make any sense to me.
Mrs. Thompson, thank you so much for your concern. And I understand abstinence, of course, is one of the components when it comes to sex education. But what our AMAZE videos shows is there is a wide variety of values and beliefs of all families. And we want to make sure that our videos remain inclusive. That's why we really encourage you to watch the videos that your young person is seeing in the classroom, watching them with them at home and having and continuing that conversation.
Well, what family wouldn't want their kid to be abstinent at this age? That sounds ridiculous.
Oh, that's a really great question. Abstinence is absolutely key. And I think that it's important as a school district and making sure it's inclusive, that it's age appropriate. We want to ensure the safety of all students. At one time, we want to make sure that they know their own body of autonomy and also boundary settings and relationship building. That's really what we want to encourage throughout all of our sex ed classes.
Well, let me ask you this. My child is quite sheltered, and so are many of the other students within this community. Some of them even still sleep with a nightlight on. These videos are going to be teaching them about things that they are simply not ready for.
Oh, wow. Well, Mrs. Thompson, if I can be very vulnerable in this moment, I also sleep with a nightlight on at times. But I want to assure you that when we review our videos at the school district, I promise you all of the videos are age appropriate and that they have been approved by the school. That's why we want to make sure that our young people are making sure that we're getting them the accurate information.
Well, I'll let you know that there is quite a mom's group chat happening, and we are not aware that this information was approved by the district.
Oh, understand, Mrs. Thompson. Well, I want to be transparent. And since you weren't notified that the curriculum was approved, I encourage you to sit down with me and we can walk through all of the curriculum and the lessons together so that you may feel more comfortable in ensuring that your young person is getting the accurate information as possible.
Yes, I will definitely look over that information and discuss it with my husband and my Bible group. Thank you.
No, thank you, Mrs. Thompson. And please know that my email and my phone number is open to you. So I'm always here to support you and your family when it comes to this topic that we're teaching, which is sex ed.
Okay.
Stop simulation or stop interaction.
LaCara, that was truly phenomenal. Take a deep breath. There was lots of notes in the chat about how sassy Miss Thompson was. She really comes in strong, and you navigated that conversation beautifully. Is there anything that you feel like you addressed really effectively, or a response you liked in particular?
Yeah, thank you so much, Lauren. Whew, I see the chat, very sassy indeed. I was a little nervous. Y'all don't see me sweating over here. But something that I felt that I did well that we just heard from Jess is using that's why to ensure and correct disinformation. Another thing is ensuring that we're using the terms and the messaging of age appropriateness and transparency. For when Mrs. Thompson shared that she wasn't aware that the curriculum was available for review from the district and that the district indeed improved or approved the videos for AMAZE.
Yeah, I totally agree. I didn't hear just transparency and age appropriateness come through. You also talked about inclusivity. So you hit every single one of those key points. And you did it using that's why, which I think is so incredible. So you started really well by continuously finding common ground with Miss Thompson, by indicating that you heard her concern, you understood, that you agreed that abstinent was really important and it was an age appropriate message. And that's why it's so important that students are getting age appropriate, medically accurate information. And that's what the AMAZE videos do. I thought that was brilliantly done. I also really liked the way you talked about the videos being inclusive. You used that that's why tool there again, too, talking about abstinence is important. And that's why we want to make sure every person is getting information that reflects their values, because there's many different kind of values in our community. It was just seamless and beautiful the way you transitioned between each of those key points and remained transparent and open for additional questions. So I really appreciate you being vulnerable in real time and talking with Ms. Thompson. I hope everybody was able to hear a couple of ways that LaCara was really utilizing those key skills that Jess just talked about in her plenary. So LaCara, thank you so much. I'll toss it back to you.
Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate that. Thank you, everyone, in the chat and for your feedback. Now, guess what? It is your turn. So what we're going to do in this moment, we're going to go ahead and put you all into 4 different breakout rooms. In your breakout rooms, you're going to have a lead facilitator, and then you're also going to have a co-facilitator. So in those breakout rooms, what's going to happen now is you all are going to practice some low stake skills from Jess's presentation, and then also using some of the information that I shared with you just now via the virtual professional development. So in just a moment, I'm going to go ahead and do a fun little countdown, and then we're going to go ahead and open up the breakout rooms. Okay, so here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open the breakout rooms, and we will see you back here shortly.
I hope folks thought the last section with LaCara handling the avatar was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. We really love using that simulation software to do not only working with parents or administrators or principals and superintendents, but also we have classroom environments where we're able to help teachers practice the skills of teaching sex ed, various grade levels, various topics. So it's really been a really fun platform. So we're really excited that we were able to showcase it here a little bit, particularly as it relates to controversy. All right, so I think I'm going to go ahead and just dive in. I do have my chat up and I'm expecting LaCara to come, but you know, people might trickle in as they're able to. I know folks are juggling many things tonight, so just appreciate you all being with us. We're only going to be in these small rooms, breakout rooms, for about 20 to 25 minutes. So, you know, we can make the most of the time and really kind of dig into some of the skills related to how to handle controversy, what are some of those effective strategies that Jess went over with us, and how to kind of put them into play when we're looking at some different scenarios and some surveys and different questions we've got planned for you all. Okay, so just by way of introduction, I just want to reintroduce myself for folks I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet. My name is Nora Gelprin. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the director of sex ed here at Advocates for Youth. So I get to be part of the AMAZE team, which is such an honor and a privilege. And I get to help mostly around like some of the content development, working with the animators, making sure the videos are all medically accurate, and then working to ensure that educators have all the supports that they need to use the various videos in ways that they are able. Let me see if LaCara has been able to join us yet. Not yet, so we'll just keep going and circle back when she's able to join us. Okay, all right, so let's dig in a little bit. What I want to do is just review some of the details that Jess went over with everyone. So I just put up on the screen real quickly, just some of the highlights again, just so we can keep them top of mind. I know for me, I never got any training about controversy until I actually had to like deal with some. So it was a little bit learning while you're flying the plane. But I just wanted to highlight some of the key pieces of information that Jess shared that for me, when I've worked with school districts or media or angry parents or whoever it might be, has been incredibly helpful. So one of these first ones that I just like literally have to repeat into my brain because it's so counter to what I'm told about how to best answer difficult questions, like when a student would ask or a parent would ask, it's really remembering not to repeat the disinformation that is shared with you, to just really try to use like no or that's why instead of saying like sex ed isn't pornographic, which would usually be what I would say first, but really remembering not to repeat it because that just kind of cements it in people's brain. And instead using one of those transition terms or one of those pivot statements, like the power of just saying no. That's actually not true. No, I think you've been misinformed. No, what we actually know is being taught here is, or to use that pivot language of that's why I'm also in favor of comprehensive sex ed, or that's why I want to make sure all students receive what they need. Oh, yay, there's LaCara. Wonderful. Yay. Welcome, welcome. My co-host in our little breakout room, the great
I'm
stuff.
here.
Yay. Some of the other key takeaways just to remember were those frames that Jess was talking about. So if you just freeze in the moment, like I do all the time when I'm under pressure, just really think about sex ed is transparent. We have nothing to hide. We're happy to share lesson plans. We're happy to share district policy. Come watch the videos. It's all about inclusivity because we know that all students benefit when we have inclusive sex ed. So not just students with an LGBTQ identity, but all students in all schools benefit. And that's really key. And then all of our information is age and developmentally appropriate. So those are some things that you can really focus on if you ever are, asked or questions about how you're going to do this work. Some of the other kind of bigger talking points, we have these written up for you in a one-pager that we'll share in the chat because I know it's like a lot of text on screen. So grab the link that LaCara just so graciously put in the chat for us. And you'll remember just some of the big sex ed takeaways that are true for AMAZE and true for, I'm sure, all of the sex ed that we're doing in our various communities, is that we really want to protect the health and safety of young people, both now when they're adolescents or when they're young people, but also well into the future. We always are looking for ways to partner with parents and caregivers. We want to do this work together. No one source of sex ed information knows it all or can be, the best provider of info for all students. So partnering together with parents and caregivers is really key. We encourage young people to talk with trusted adults. That's really part of a lot of what you'll see in these AMAZE videos and in our lesson plans, because we know if young people have a safe, trusted adult, their ability to navigate adolescence successfully really increases. And then, of course, all of the information is medically accurate. We actually work with physicians. We work with folks with a lot of medical background to hey, is this actually correct? And did I include all of it correctly here? So we really do a lot of that background work to make sure that what you see in those videos is medically accurate. So that's really important. And it's a key component of sex ed as well. All right, so get that chat box open. We want to do a little bit of a survey here. We're going to give you a question, and all we need you to do is just type one letter into the chat. So hopefully nice and easy. If you've had a long day, it's probably, we don't have a lot left in the tank. So we're going to try to make it easy for you. So here's what we're looking for you to answer. So imagine that you have a parent and they say to you, this information goes against my values. Talking about sexual orientation and gender is something that should be between parents and their kids, not schools. I don't know. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Maybe just me. All right. So that's what the parent says to you. And we want you to consider if you would choose A, B, or C as a response to the parent. All you have to do is put the letter into the chat that represents what your response, what your preferred response would be in this situation. I'm glad it's sounding familiar to some people. All right. So would you choose A? I agree with you, but it's our district's policy and state standards. Okay. It's a required topic. Would you then choose B? The answer is sexual orientation isn't covered directly in sex education. We just want kids to know it's okay to be gay, right? Just kind of that values neutral. We just want to make sure everybody feels welcome here. Or lastly, answer C. Just like our school, our sex education program is inclusive of all people and values, including the experiences, I'm seeing the chat light up, of LGBTQ students in our curriculum has been shown to help keep all students safe. Okay, so can you tell whenever I'm a teacher, I give way easy answers. So you all are brilliant. You got it. You know it, right? Sometimes we might want to say different things than we actually should say. So we know for this parent in this conversation, it's going to be really important for us to choose C to really provide the rationale, like we talked about with Jess, inclusivity, the idea that all students benefit when our sex ed is inclusive, not just those students that have those identities or students who have family members with those identities. It benefits all of us. So well done. Well done. All right, we're going to do something a little different. Keep it interesting. All right, we're going to use a Jamboard next. LaCara is going to post the Jamboard chat into the chat for you. So if you'll just double click on that, if you have not used a Jamboard before, and I know there may be some of you for whom this is new, you will come to a screen that looks like what you're seeing here. I just took a screen capture of it. You're going to see that we have a question for you. Someone you work with asked the following. I've heard you're teaching kids about oral sex. How can that possibly be age appropriate for middle school? And we'd like you to take the toolbar on the left about fourth down. There's something that should look like a little post-it or a sticky note. Just grab one of those, type in what your response would be to this question, and then just post it onto the Jamboard. If you're newer to Jamboard, you don't have it in you to come up with some brilliant response, but you see someone else had put something really exciting in there, go ahead and grab one of the stars and you could just drag it over and put it next to somebody's Jamboard response. So we'll hopefully hear from a lot of people, even if not every single person is writing them. So I'm going to stop this now so I can stop sharing my screen and go over to the Jamboard. Oh, I love it, like when all the anonymous things start to pop up. So if you just want to grab a Post-it, which is over here, sorry, one up. And if you just click on it, then you'll be able to add a Post-it to the Jamboard with what your response would be to this question. Take your time. We've got time here. So like, don't need to, rush you or anything. I've heard you're teaching kids about oral sex. How can that possibly be age appropriate for middle school? You'll just come up with what you think a response would be off the top of your head, just kind of your gut response. Once we get some of these posted here, we can also then put stars next to ones that we really think, oh, that's a great way to go, or I hadn't thought of that. I would totally do that. So I see we have about 20-ish people on the Jamboard, which is awesome. So I'll just give folks some time to post to post up some responses. And again, if Jamboard is new to you, I know all these technological tools are like, wait, which one are we using tonight? Just click on the link that LaCara put in the chat. That will take you to this tab where you can then add a sticky note with your response to this question. So I'll be quiet for a few seconds and let folks take some time to give some responses. Ooh, these are some good ones. Excellent. Great. So we're responding to a question a student brought up. We know things are age appropriate based on what questions the kids ask about. Awesome. Love that. Use the students and their questions to kind of really showcase how these topics are absolutely age appropriate. If kids are asking them, they're curious for more information. I love that way to go. Students need to know all about the behaviors that are either safe or unsafe, regardless of whether they themselves are involved in such behaviors. Great. Making sure that we educate young people on the range of behaviors and when that may place them at risk for something or not, regardless of whether they're doing it at this moment in time. That's great. It's never too early to educate kids regarding safety. Oh, I love the safety approach. That's a really, really good one. When we talk about sex and sexual health programs, we always cover vaginal, oral, and anal sex. STDs don't seem to care which age or form of sex, so we educate on all. Oh, I love that. They're like, STDs don't care, so why would why would we? Oh, good. And so Chris is putting something in the chat. I hear your concern, and I would agree that hopefully middle school students are not participating in oral sex. The reality is you start experimenting at different ages. Middle schoolers need to know how to keep themselves safe and make informed decisions regarding their bodies. I'm sorry you couldn't put that on the Jamboard, but I'm seeing your response there in the chat, and it looks terrific. This is great. Let's read a few more, and I love that people are dragging some stars over. Whether either of us like it or not, some middle school students are already engaging in oral sex. In addition, comprehensive sex ed includes discussing all forms of sex and ways to, I'm guessing if we enlarge that, protect themselves or keep themselves safe. I love it. You guys are really using that safety frame that Jess was sharing. I have found that so valuable in ways to kind of talk about the work that we do and the topics that we cover and when we cover them, because you really can't argue with wanting to keep kids safe, right? Like there's no opposite to that. No, I want to keep kids dangerous. So I think that that's a really helpful one for us to really pivot to. Great. We're clear about what the definition of sexual contact is. This gives kids information that helps them make the best choices for themselves. Absolutely. Wonderful. I share your concern, bottom right on the page. I love this, about middle school students engaging in oral sex. And that is why, ooh, love that. And that is why we teach about it. We want them to know about the risks about oral sex so that they make informed choices. This is awesome. Y'all are great. I'm just going to keep reading. These are great. I love people are like dragging the stars around. This is so like real time. Great. We teach students the language and skills to protect themselves in a wide array of experience. This includes an age-appropriate and medically accurate curriculum. Yes, yes, yes. You all need to be hired as our spokespeople. These are so, so good. Awesome. Any others, LaCara, that you're seeing that I haven't read out yet?
I lost my mic. No, all of these are so good.
Awesome.
I think there was one in the middle. It says we want to make sure that all students sexually active or not, have the knowledge they need to keep themselves safe. Each student is different, and our goal is to be inclusive. I thought that was so beautiful.
Awesome.
Absolutely beautiful.
that is great. It looks like we might have some on multiple pages, at least on my tab. It looks like we might have two or three pages of responses. Either that, let's see. No, okay, good. We fit them all in one. That's awesome. Yay.
Yay!
Excellent. Yes, I agree, Wendy. It really is good practice to like not only have to think of what you would say, but also then to read how other people would approach the same question. I love like so many different pieces that people have brought in here about health and safety, transparency. All students need this information now and for the future. You know, the STDs don't care which form of sex you have or, you know, how old you are. So we want to give that information to everyone before they might need it. This is great. Wonderful. All right.
There's one more that I would love to read
please.
out loud that got added last, Nora, and it was, we are clear about what the definition of sexual contact is. This gives kids information that helps them make the best choices for themselves.
I love it. I love it, right? Because it's all about individual decision-making. No adult is likely going to be there in the moment when someone makes this decision for themselves with their partner. So they need to have the knowledge and the skills necessary to make the healthiest decisions possible. So this is great. Wonderful. Answering Wendy's question in the chat about leaving the Jamboard up for a few days so we can take some time to go through the responses. Absolutely, yes. I am guessing, knowing Rachel and LaCara and Victoria and all their brilliance, that they will probably include links to these Jamboards in the follow-up email. So you can see not only the answers from our small group, but there are 3 other small groups going as well. Yes, Michelle, including them with the slides. I think there's going to be so many goodies coming in the email just after this wraps up tonight. So stay tuned. All right, great. So hopefully people have had a chance to go ahead and grab the link that LaCara put into the chat. Hold on, let me get back to the right spot. Because what we want to do now is we want to do one more scenario for you. So let me just give me just a sec because all my slides are stacking up on top of each other. Okay. Okay. All right, so we had a chance to do the Jamboard, which was super fun, and you all came up with some really great responses. We wanted to do one last scenario, and it's up to you if you want to respond to this scenario in the chat, if that's your comfort, or we are just a group of about 38 people, so you are welcome to also take yourself off mute if it's easier to just like say a thing. We would welcome you to do that as well. So here is the scenario we'd love you to kind of think about. Your boss, whoever that may be, I know not everybody works in a school. Some of us are in community-based organizations. Some of us are at health departments, different kinds of organizations. So think of your boss in whatever way that makes sense to you. Your boss is asked to meet with you about a couple of AMAZE videos that you hope to use, right? Whatever those are. So different grade levels, different topics, whatever that is in your setting that is relevant. You hear that they may have concerns about how parents might react to those videos. What could you say to advocate for the videos you believe are best for your students? So I'll give you a chance to noodle on that one for a sec. Your boss is asked to meet with you about a couple of the AMAZE videos that you would hope to use. You hear they have concerns about how parents may react. Sometimes bosses like overly estimate what parents may do, but just saying that. What could you say to advocate for the videos that you really believe are best for your students? So if you want to type some thoughts in the chat, you're welcome to do that. If you would rather just turn your microphone on and share verbally what you would like to say, that's great too. You know, we kind of want to support any kind of learning style that makes sense for folks at this moment in time.
I'm just going to jump in.
Great.
I have videos and on though, that's rude. I would start by just like inviting the parents to know about the videos that we're going to be showing.
Great.
Like
Great.
why we're showing them, and ask them if they want to preview them, have questions about it, but like make it part of like, we should all be on the same page about this and we want you to talk to your kids about it. So, and telling administrators that, you know, we're going to get parents on board and that's the best way to.
I love that, Carmen. Yes, let's invite full transparency, right? Like, let's actually watch the videos. Sometimes even our bosses like haven't watched the specific videos that we're intending to use. Maybe they watched something else entirely. So let's sit together and look at the videos. Let's send the videos out to the parents, maybe just in a parent preview, just to get their sense if there's any concerns. Let's make sure we're going to talk about how we're going to facilitate them. What are we going to say before them? What are we going to have students do with them after? Are they going to annotate tolerate them? Are they going to react to them? To really kind of dig into what these concerns might actually be all about. Oftentimes we find this is where an AMAZE playlist can be such a beautiful tool, because you could just create a playlist with those 2 or 3 videos that you are wanting to use for that lesson plan. And then only that is shared with the students, or only those videos are shared with the parents via that playlist, so that they're not distracted by all of the other videos that you were actually never meaning to use for that particular lesson. So just one thought that we've had and heard from teachers is wildly successful. So I'm seeing Lucas says these videos include language, whoop, and it's going too fast. I see all these great answers coming in. These videos include language kids are used to hearing from their peers and won't make them shut down like they might feel when they're being scolded by their parents. Ooh, very good point. And they're more likely to learn and be able to protect themselves. I love that. Oh, that's great. I love that. The like not shutting down point of it. That's really, really great. Leisha's saying, knowing that videos are medically accurate and age and developmentally appropriate, what is your concern about parents' reaction? Oh, I love that. Like flip it back to the boss, right? Like, okay, so tell me the thing, because these are accurate and inclusive and appropriate. So it's like really lands back on their lap. Virginia is saying that is exactly what I was thinking, Nora. I'd offer a chance to watch the videos together and identify the concerns, right? Like we have nothing to hide. These videos are all really complete and important information. So let's talk through. I don't know about you, but sometimes I've found some conservative or concerned folks might have more hangups about their own discomfort. Maybe they don't know much about this topic, so they just think talking about any of it is scandalous. So sometimes just like meeting them where they're at and helping them come along a little bit, particularly if sex ed is not any part of their background training. So I think that can go a really long way. I see Holly is saying these videos support our student standards and are age appropriate, and more importantly, have been approved by our local health advisory board. Oh, that is awesome. If you can ever get a local health advisory board, or if you have a family life advisory committee, family life committee, whatever it might be called where you're from, to like review the videos and then give them a vote of endorsement or support or approve them for use in your district, that is a golden thing. So that's a great suggestion, Holly. Parents have access to all curriculum resources for families to view ahead of time. Wonderful, wonderful. Oh my gosh. LaCara, do you see others in the chat? It's like lighting up so fast, I can barely keep up. Do you see others that you like?
I did. So I like the one that Elizabeth shared. These videos share medically accurate and evidence-based information that is age appropriate. If parents have concerns, I'd be happy to meet with them and discuss the videos one-on-one and let them know the knowledge they gain from these videos is meant to keep them safe. There was another one by Andrea, I believe, or Andrea. Please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name. Her response was, actually, nationally, AMAZE videos are well known for being some of the best and most age appropriate and medically accurate videos available. I'll be happy to have a focus group of parents, we are statewide, to review and provide feedback. I was like, oh, that touched at my heartstrings. Wendy also provided another response that I thought was amazing as well. We could also offer a list of videos and suggest that parents review them with their children, or maybe even offer that we could do a parent-child session. I used to do a parent-child session and then offer to do additional sessions with them for middle school age children. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Let me read one more, if that's okay, Nora. I love this one from Murphy. Murphy shared, I understand how some parents may react negatively towards the videos, but as a professional in this field, you literally hired me for this. You know, these videos promote health and safety for the students in our school district. I trust the content and believe that these videos will educate our students, and I am more than willing to have discussions with parents or share the videos with them prior to ensure everyone understands why these videos are being used.
Oh, amazing. You guys are the best. This is awesome. I was just going to say the response that had to do with like a parent night or have a like parents view the videos. One thing that I think often educators miss, because, you know, we're all so busy and we've got, you know, just like so many hours in the day to do all the things. I don't know if folks know, when you hit the more info little icon under a video, it actually takes you to a section on our website where obviously the video is right at top. But then if you scroll down, we create whole sections just for parents and caregivers with discussion questions they could bring up if they wanted to watch the videos together with their kids. We try to kind of encourage that family communication. And then below that, for every single video, all 200 plus of them, there is an additional section that's for educators with not only ways that you could use to facilitate a discussion around the video, but links to books and websites and lesson plans where these videos are embedded into. So we try to really like give you everything you need, so that if you have to have a conversation like this with a supervisor or with a concerned parent, you've got like everything at your fingertips and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So thank you so much for all of these great answers. It looks like we have a little bit of time left. So I'd love to hear either whether you want to put it in the chat or take yourself off mute and put your microphone on. What are some other questions that you all are worried you might get about using AMAZE videos, or about sex ed, or other controversy that has come up? Maybe we can just kind of put our heads together, because there's just so much brilliance in the chat here and these responses are great. What else might come up from parents, or have you had to deal with that was challenging or frustrating, or maybe you're worried would come up if you were to use one of these with a group of students? I'd love to hear. We can just kind of brainstorm with each other for these last few minutes we have together. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I love that. We do have a question in the chat, actually, Nora, and it's from Alicia. Alicia shared, should your SHAC, so I'm assuming your sexual health committee, be a good source for the approval as well?
Yes, absolutely, Alicia. So school health advisory committees, family life, education committees, HIV review panels, whatever you want to call them. Great. Yep. A SHAC, different names in different states, all that good stuff. Those are a great kind of way to provide another layer of safety and protection. And what I mean by that is, so it's not just you as an educator with your agenda around sex ed, which is often how I hear about it, but you've got these community members, you've got professionals, you've got stakeholders, you've got physicians, you've got, you know, all different kinds of folks that are invested in adolescent health, and sharing with them the AMAZE videos that you want to use, letting them react to them, answer their questions, make sure you get their approval, then just kind of gives you another level of support and approval if anyone should question why you're using these videos. So absolutely, I think it's a really great idea. We know of many schools that have done this and found that, you know, a lot of the parents that serve on those committees as volunteers were like, I had no idea about AMAZE. This is so cool. I'm going to send this one to my teenager. Like, thank you so much. So it's really a lot of fun. Looks like we have a hand up from Jennifer. Do you want to jump on in with a question or a comment, Jennifer?
Yeah, hi, it's actually related to that SHAC materials review. Any suggestions about talking points when your materials review board and or your curriculum folks want to review every single piece of something, so they're not satisfied with the sample? Obviously, this is a huge library of videos. We've encountered that a couple times where it's not feasible. So we just get bogged down and things can't get pushed through.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I would say one of the things, again, why we created the playlist option was to try to really focus those review panels or those, you know, concerned folks on exactly the videos that you're using. There are so many, and they're really made for a range of age and stages on lots of different topics. Not every state covers all these topics. So find the ones that you're actually going to use in the lessons, create a playlist, and then just share the playlist. I think the only exception to that would be if you were planning to use amaze.org as like a generic resource to share with students so that they could, after school or out of school time, go check it out. That might be a little trickier just because there is so much content, but I think those playlists might be a really great way to go. I don't know, LaCara, if you wanted to add anything or had other thoughts on that?
No, I think you were absolutely spot on.
Great.
Nothing to add. Thanks, Nora.
Okay, sure. So it looks like Hannah and then Murphy. Oh, we're going to try to do this in 3 minutes. So let's see what we can do. If not, put it in the chat.
Hi, I've been hearing a lot lately, more and more talking points where sex educators are labeled as predators. And that is just such an extreme viewpoint that I have a really, really hard time responding to it. It's even been popping up in like circles that I am associated with. And I just do not know how to.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Ones that like rips my heart out because we do the absolute opposite, which is around safety and health and well-being for our students. So this is one for me that I find I just do a solid no. Nope. that's absolutely untrue. Or nope, there's no truth to that fact, right? There's no truth to that claim. I often say you have been targeted by a disinformation campaign. I like name it for what it is. And I say, actually, the truth of the matter is that sex ed actually protects young people. It prevents child sexual abuse. It helps them delay the onset of first sex. It increases contraceptive use, including the use of condoms, and prevents around HIV and STD prevention. So it's really the opposite. And I would use that power of no there. Because I think that's really critical. It is one that like just chews me up inside as well. So I totally feel your pain. Some of the tips from the sheet that LaCara put in the chat might also be helpful. So I'd grab that link because I think a lot of those tips would really be great. And Murphy, I see your hand. We're not going to have a chance to get to you before we're going to all go back in the big room. So maybe put your question in the chat and LaCara and I can continue to interact with you if that's okay via the chat as we all go back into the room. So thanks everyone.
Hello, everyone. As folks start to come back into the room, I hope that you all had some very fruitful discussions. I know that we did in our group 4. So welcome back, welcome back. I feel that we have almost everybody back, if not everyone. So if you can, share with me one takeaway. How was the breakout rooms? What did you learn? What was new? What was one thing that you're going to take away and use either this week or within the next month about having conversations with either other administrators, bosses, supervisors, and whatever settings that you all are in? I would love to hear some of your thoughts. I hear that group 3 and group 2 were rock stars as well. I love it. I will also say that we have shared the chat for some of our participants who put their responses to some of the scenario questions or their Jamboard responses in the chat box. So please know that we have saved them and we will go ahead and share them as one of our resources following our conference. I'm reading some other responses. I'm going to use Jamboard and find more ways to practice responding to tough questions. Caroline, thank you so much. Michael shared data rocks and inclusivity rules. Absolutely, Michael, I feel that. Daniela shared making sure I use all 3 components in my responses to parents. Love that. Thank you so much, Daniela. Lena also shared first time using Jamboard. Yay! And you loved it. I can't wait to incorporate it. Thank you, Lena. Thank you so much for that feedback. Helen shared immediate intention of leaving the disinformation out of any response. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Helen. Cass said, I wish we had more time. I know. Me too. Me too. Our conversations were going absolutely phenomenal. Amber shared wonderful activities. So happy to be pushed outside of the comfort zone. Absolutely. And that's why we're here. We are here to learn from each other, learn in this space and grow. This is all that AMAZE is about, using our material that we have, using our videos and helping you all be more equipped and successful and comfortable and confident in whatever setting that you all are in. So thank you so much for participating. I'll read a few more. Mary shared, this is my first sex ed conference. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I appreciate all the candid conversations and examples of how I can respond to concerned parents. Absolutely. Let's see. Paul, I'm going to have to get back to you about those best thoughts in our group Jamboards. We will definitely be sharing the links to the Jamboard and we'll be working with Dr. Rachel because we did have a request for those to stay up and stay available. So again, thank you all so much. I'm glad that you all took so much out of the breakout rooms and you were able to bond and also network and connect with one another. So I am going to share with you prize time. I told you all prizes will be coming soon. So it is about to be prize time. So in each of the breakout rooms, your lead and co-facilitators selected 2 amazing participants that will be receiving one of our amazing prizes. So amazing prizes that we have for you all are a 30-minute chat with Dr. G. She will be providing you all some one-on-one professional development opportunities that you all can talk and discuss some things that you have learned from our sessions today. Next, you may have the opportunity to having a custom AMAZE avatar. So you may have seen Rachel Rachel and myself. And if you attended yesterday, Victoria, our custom avatars that look like ourselves, you all may have a chance of winning one of those. Also, you may also have the chance of winning a 1 hour of free for virtual professional development. So what Lauren and I modeled for you today, you may have a chance of winning that. And AMAZE swag. Who doesn't love swag? I'm a huge swag girl. I love buttons and pins and bags and t-shirts. So you may have a chance to win some amazing swag from us as well. So stay tuned. We'll probably be announcing those names later on in the week of who those marvelous participants are and those marvelous winners. So I am going to bring back the amazing Rachel to go ahead and tell us about tomorrow and close us out for the evening.
I'm super excited about day 3. I hope everyone can join us. So we're starting off tomorrow with an amazing panel about supporting the sexual health and rights of young people with a variety of disabilities. We have Ava and B and Dr. Faizi and Robin will all be here sharing some of their insights. And I can't wait for it. It's something I'm super excited about. And then after that panel, we're actually going to be breaking down how to really adapt AMAZE and other resources for young folks with a variety of disabilities. I know a lot of times we talk about it needs to be done, but we're really going to be breaking down the how to do that. And so we will have Lexi from Portland Public Schools kind of leading that conversation. So tomorrow is going to be an exciting day. Don't miss it. We'll also have more prizes. Hint, hint, wink.
And finally, be sure to subscribe and follow. Share all of our social media channels are here. We're also going to post a link that brings you to all of our social media channels if you cannot jot them all down on this slide. So be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, of course, our YouTube channels. So that's going to be AMAZE Parents. That's going to be AMAZE.org, where we have all of our new videos that are released every 2 weeks. So be sure to follow our channels. And then also be sure you're here at the conference today. If you haven't already, go ahead and hashtag us. So if you want to go ahead and post the amazing things that are going on, hashtag AMAZE Sex Ed Con for all of the great and wonderful things that are going on for the conference. So thank you all again for being here. And I wish you all the best and have a great rest of your day.
And thank you all for coming. We can't wait to see you tomorrow. Take care and have a good one, y'all.